it's my music, when people listen to it, God will give them another heart, you know. But at that point, because I wasn't thinking of music professionally, I was thinking a talk show. I was thinking media. I was thinking, okay, there are certain issues in Christianity, in the church that we don't talk about. I would love to be that voice in the kingdom, you know, be like Oprah, you know, what Oprah does, coming from a Christian perspective, you know. So it was like, okay, another heart, another heart, another heart. And so, and then I must say this, I come from a family who's into media.
Okay.
My whole family, they are TV producers, movie directors, actors, and all of that. So media has always been a part of me. Although I didn't act like the others, but I knew that I wanted to be a TV personality. I knew that I wanted to just be in that space. So when I was going to when I released my album, the next thing I wanted to do was, okay, now that the album is out there, how can I pass my message across, you know, to people? How can I get more people listening to my music and also my message, because I've always felt that I had a message, you know. And so I started off by sharing people's testimonies. I used to call it I Testify with the Lord.
Okay.
I was doing a blog. It was a blog, you know. I started off with that. And I remember back in the day when obviously I host a concert as well. So I had been doing the concerts before I actually even released my album. And I remember one of the ladies, you know, who was the white lady, you know, she said, Loho, I think Heart Song needs a radio station. I was like, yeah, I'll come, you know. But when I released my album, and remembering what God has spoke to me, several people now approached me. Honestly, I received like 4 or 5 invites from different radio stations to start a radio show.
Interesting.
This was in 2014. But, you know, I mean, the vision is for an appointed time. I just didn't feel the release to go ahead, you know, with that. I had all the equipment that I needed to start, but it just wasn't the right time. So I thought, okay, why not start with the blog, start speaking to people, sharing their testimonies, you know, and inspire people with their testimonies. And so as a result of that, one of the radio stations, it's FOL radio station, Radio 31.
Radio 31.
Yeah, Radio 31 approached me and said, would I like to do a radio show? I was like, okay. I've had 4 different invites. I've turned them down. At that point, I was like, after praying, I was like, okay, it's the right time. I'll do it. However, I already have a platform and I just want to turn that into a show. So started that. But you know the funny thing, when God speaks to you, sometimes we are not, what's the word now? I'm trying to get that word. We're not so attentive. Not really attentive.
Sensitive.
Sensitive. God gives you a word, and God gives you a word, and you just, okay, yes, Lord, you know. So there was one December 31st, I'm not sure it was 2014 December or 2013 December, you know how you're praying for the new year. And one of the things I wrote down was radio station. But I didn't. I just forgot about it. At that point, what was big on my heart was, okay, I wanted to do digital marketing. I wanted to do social media because I wanted to start a perfume line. So this is me, you know, saying I want to start a perfume line. So I want to go study digital marketing so that I can learn how to market my products online. You know, but I had that there. I had the radio station. I had all of that. So even when Radio 31 approached me, I had the vision. But I didn't. I forgot about it completely. And so it was like maybe 2 years just before we started the radio station. And I saw it. I was like, no way. No way. You know? So anyway, I did my show for about a year. And then I started to speak to a few of the guys there. I said, okay, you know what? I want to start my TV show show now. I want to start my talk show. And I was going all out to start my talk show. I was going all out to start the TV show. I was getting together equipment that I needed to start. But I think God had other plans for me. I'm still going to have the TV show, by the way. I'm still going to have the TV station, by the way, you know. But God had other plans, because I believe now that I see that everything is coming together, everything is falling in place, that it wasn't just the music, it was music and media that He was calling me into, to be a voice in that space, you know. But then I had to go through a process. Do you understand? I mean, I had to go through a process. I had to learn. So now that I've learned a lot about radio broadcasting, I've learned so much about, you know, being a voice. Because with radio, with TV is okay, it's different because people see you. But with radio, nobody sees your face. Nobody sees your face. It's only your voice.
Your voice,
you know? And because God had given me this voice, I remember a few years ago, there was a prophet who said, Eloho, God is going to give you a voice. And I thought that voice was a music singing voice. But now I've come to realize that He wanted to place me in this space, in music, in media, as a voice, to reach out, not just to Christians, to encourage and support and inspire Christians to be the best version of themselves, but to the unsaved, to the unchurched.
Interesting.
You know, so it's just been a journey, it's just been a process, and I think just being sensitive to God, listening for His voice, and saying, because sometimes we expect God to speak in certain ways and He's not speaking that way, you know, because you have a preconceived, this is how it should go. Okay, God, I want to do a TV show, so everything has to be in place. God is saying, no, Eloho, come back. Come back. You've got to start from A before you get to B. So that's how it all came about. So I was in the middle of getting equipment for my TV program and TV show when God said radio. I was like, radio? Seriously? Seriously? So that's how the journey has been, really. And it's been 3 years now.
Interesting.
The radio's been 3 years now,
Interesting. Wow. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you agree with me that it's quite a journey that our guest has gone through. And it's very interesting. And let me say this to anyone who is listening. It means you might have a vision yourself, and you are wondering how that vision will come to pass. It's more that you just must continue to believe in it, believe in that vision, have it written down, because you could hear our guest says, she wrote it somewhere, but you just let it be written, the vision written for an appointed time. So you write it down, write the vision. What is it you are seeing yourself becoming? Write it down. The idea might look so crazy. Permit me to use that word. It might look so humongous. How would you be able to actualize this? Just write it down. Keep it down. Write it down. Write it down. Somehow God will bring it. And as God is bringing it, He takes you through the process like He did with yourself. He brought you through to learn from various people, to be mentored in those skills that you needed to where you are going to, which initially you just don't know how would it happen. So, ladies and gentlemen, once you write it down, God will begin to orchestrate and bring people to your life that will guide you into that where He's planning, taking you to. And it's very interesting, your journey. The first thing I wrote down here is more equation, like a simultaneous equation. I first wrote down here, TV show is the first thing that you said. So TV show equals, but God said, no, it's not TV show. First is a blog. From a blog, then you now have, from a blog, go and have a radio show. Then from that, you now have your own radio station. Then at the end, you now get to be go back to having that TV station. But it's a process. Because all these things are very important. Wow, interesting. And it's another thing you mentioned is very key, that being called as a voice And that again is what this show is all about: being a voice that you can make an impact in your community. Like, on one of the things I've been recurring as we speak with various people on this show is, don't be walking around blind. Don't be walking around blind in your community, on your streets, in your neighborhood, wherever you are. Open your eyes and look at what is happening. There are issues and there are problems that God will want you to solve. There are things you can do. And like you are saying, God has made you a voice for people. And it's not until we be a voice for those in the church, like you rightly mentioned, which I think we need to all wake up from. There are people out there that we can speak for, that we can be a voice for them, and we can champion their causes, and we can be able to bring change to their situation. And those people we will be able to be a positive light, positive influence on them, and then we can then bring them back to God. It's just wonderful. Wow.
I'm just laughing because my coach is here, my covenant sister, and
Interesting.
my coach is Aaron T. Aaron. He says a lot of the voice. My covenant sister says she's a loud voice, so all loud.
Interesting. Interesting. Now it's very interesting. And let me say this. I was blessed. That radio show that the white lady, I listened to it. I was blessed about the story.
Sheila.
No, the one that, not even that one. The one that you spoke with Laura Idaosa.
Oh, Laurie. Okay.
Oh, Laurie.
I listened to that years ago.
I listened to that show.
That was years ago. That's like 5 years ago.
I listened to.
Wow.
I think I was in the library that day, or somewhere.
Wow.
I listened to that show. I was in the library on the 9th floor of RGU Library. I listened to that show. It was a great one.
Years ago. Funny enough, she watched me on Instagram yesterday, and she was like, "Wow, this is the first time she's seen me," because obviously it was over phone. We had that interview.
Yeah.
So I didn't see her. Yes. So
Okay.
She listened to my show yesterday on Instagram, and she was like, "Wow, is this your face?" I'm like, "Yes."
Interesting.
Oh, wow.
So for all of us who are listening, there is always a process. And for all our guests who have been on this show, each of them have their process. Now, for those who are young that will be watching this, please don't try and beat the process. Don't try and do a shortcut. Go through the process. If you go through the process, it will help you so that you don't falter when you get to the glory. You don't falter when you get into the glory, into the limelight, into the things that God will want you to do. So try and look for someone like you did to mentor you and walk you through the ropes to be able to learn how to get into that particular place that God is leading you to. Now, wow, so wonderful. Now, let's go for it. Now, we have unpacked some parts. Before I go on, let me ask this question. How would you define creativity?
Oh, wow. Creativity is crazy. It's crazy. It's spontaneous. It's not in the box, you know. I mean, there's so many things I can say about creativity, but really, it's not something that follows a certain path, you know. It must be like this and be like that. A creative person, I mean, can be doing 10 things at the same time, and that's why I call it crazy, because people look at me and like, as if you're not busy enough. You're writing a book now, you're doing this, you're doing that, but that's the creative spirit, you know. We are doers. We are doers. Well, creativity is doing.
Is doing. So that's a good one. Creativity is doing. And I like
doing
that.
Intentionally and with purpose, not just doing random things. So that's not creativity when you're just doing random things.
Intentionally and with purpose. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. Well, it has shown. Would you say that, even though I didn't prepare to ask this question, would you say that your personality has aided your being creative?
Okay, so I mean, my personality has evolved over the years.
Okay.
A lot of creative people can be melancholic.
Okay.
Yeah. A lot of creative people can be reserved.
Mm.
A lot of creative people, because sometimes creative people can be misunderstood.
Okay.
And so as a result of that, they want to just be in that space, and sometimes it can be a lonely place. So I have evolved from being a melancholic.
Okay.
I've evolved from being the quiet, shy person. My covenant sister Ola Olaleye will tell you that the Eloho she knew in 2010 it's not 2011. It's not the same Eloho now. Because back in the day, I would not say anything. I would just be smiling. I'll just be smiling and like, okay. I was even so scared to speak. So yes, I have a welcoming personality. In 2018, she said it in 2018. I would not outspeak, but just not as bold as confident, you know. So I have I don't necessarily have a loud personality. Yeah. But people think I'm loud, and it's fine, it's okay. But they don't know where I'm coming from.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
But it's the creativity and the work God wants me to do. I have to be loud. So
sorry, like using the Bible, blow it on the rooftop.
Yeah, exactly. Blow it on the rooftops, you know.
Yeah.
Blow it. And if I want to be that voice, then I've got to step out and step out with all boldness, because I can't be a voice and be hiding. You can't put a light under a bushel and just hide it. No. No, you know. So my personality, if we go by my personality,
yep.
I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing. Seriously, because I'll be too scared to step out.
To step out. Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But I think I have grown. I have evolved.
Yeah.
I have transformed. You know, it's like a butterfly. Do you understand? Because there's more in me. There's more that God wants me to do. And so he had to take me through all of that and give me this personality that is, loving, laughter, and smiling. I've always been nice and loving, though.
Interesting. Wow.
Yeah, so it may have contributed. Yes, it may have. Yeah. Because I, as a creative person, you have to be inviting. You have to be. You have to be. What's the word now? You have to be empathetic. Is that what you call it? The word empathetic.
Empathic. Yeah. Empathy. Yeah.
Empathy.
Yeah.
I always mix that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you've got to put yourself in people's shoes. You've got to okay, you know. So I think, in a way, it has.
So how would you now? There are times in which when you feel that you want to help people, you feel that you want to be a voice for people. How do you draw the line and not to be, for a better word, lack of a better word, nauseating?
I remember was that 2016? My covenant sister said to me, "Eloho, you don't want to be tolerated. You want to be celebrated." Because I just felt that I want to help you. Don't you see? Don't you get it? But I think I was, like you said, it was like nauseating. Just leave me alone. What is it? What do you want? Do you understand? It got to a point where people felt probably I wanted something.
When you are trying to help them.
Exactly. Yeah. So, but I think I had to get to the point where whether anybody understood it or not.
Okay.
Obviously, I wasn't smiling at that time because it was hurting. But I had to go through coaching, counseling, and all of that to get me to this point where I am, to believe in myself, to value myself. That's the most important thing. And that even if I'm trying to help people and they don't understand where I'm coming from, it doesn't mean that I'm wrong or I'm right, or do you understand? I don't know if that makes sense. So I had to get to that place and realize, most importantly, that I was telling somebody a few days ago, you are not Jesus. You can't save the whole world.
That's it.
So I had to come to that point and say, okay, Lord, it's good. Yeah, you can be Mother Teresa. It's okay. It's fine. But you are not called to everybody. You are not sent to everybody. Not everybody will get what you. So I think the thing was just, I had to focus anyway. Just to be focused.
Now, and you know why I asked that question? Because it is something I've come to see about myself, and I'm trying to put a rein on myself, because sometimes when you feel that you want to help people, you can be very very unbearable. You just want to stick it down their throat to say, just, you need it. You need this medicine. You need it. So, like our parents force fed us and gave us medication, in which when we're growing up, they just say, you need this medication. Open your mouth, and and sometimes you just want to help. But, and like yourself, I've come to see that recognizing this is a weakness, so that when I'm pushing it, and also it's also because when you are passionate about it, you just want to continue to say it, but you now find, oh, no, once you say it once, twice, 3 times, okay, let me just drop it. Or else, like you said, on the rooftop, you can continue to make a song about it, write a poem about it, write a blog about it. Just continue on it and ramping it in. But I think it's part of the heart of trying to help.
Yeah, it's the heart, and it's for me, it's my strength. It's one strength. Empathy, one of my strengths.
Yeah.
But then I now need to know how to manage that strength so that it doesn't become a weakness. You understand?
Yeah. And I think that is spot on. Interesting. All right, let's go back. How come book? Yeah.
I think there's a book in everybody.
Okay.
Everybody has a story to tell.
So there's a book in everybody. Everybody has a story to tell.
Everybody has a story to tell. And so I always wanted to, all the while I was going through everything, I knew that I wanted to write. And I remember back in the day, I think really, really early stages of when I just got married and I was in church, and I said to one of my pastor friends who was encouraging me to write then, I said, you know what, Pastor Bernard, all I just want to write is a devotional. I don't want to write any book. I just want to write devotional.
Okay.
And I held on to that devotional dream for years.
Interesting.
And so in 2014, was it 2014? I'm mixing my dates now. In 2014, 2015, I came across a publisher or someone who helps people write books. And everybody was just telling me, hello, you need to write a book. I was like, why? It's a devotional I want to write. I don't want to write a book. You guys just leave me alone. But I went as far as doing a mind map of the things that I wanted to put in the book. Because I said, okay, because I'm all about people, I'm all about inspiring people, I'm all about getting people to getting people to the point where I'm all about bringing out the best in people, and then inspiring others. So I said, okay, if you guys want me to write, then this is what I want to write. Becoming the best version of yourself and inspiring others as well. So I even went ahead, made a book cover.
Interesting.
I know. I put out 2 book covers, asked people, what would you choose? And that's one thing I've always done, which has helped me with my creativity, with my coaching, with my visibility. Always carrying people along. So at that point, I was like, oh, I'm thinking of writing a book, guys. Can you help me choose out of these two covers? But like even the Bible says it, the vision is for an appointed time. It wasn't just the writer, because there were things God needed me to go through.
Experience you need to have.
To experience, So if I had just put out the head knowledge I had then, okay, it will be impactful, yeah? But the stories I now put in my book, like, oh, okay, now I see why, So it took another few good years, and I told my covenant sister recently, I said, I think it's time to tell my story. And she was like, yes, do it, sis. Just do it. And that's another thing. On your journey, as a creative person, you need people who will always push you to be the best version of yourself. People who will always celebrate you so that you shine. Sometimes when you're feeling all alone and you're feeling like, is this even worth it? Should I do it? There are people who are cheering you on, So when I said to her, I think it's time to tell my story, time to write it, she was like, you can't do it, sis, you can't do it. I was like, I can't do it, but I don't have the energy and time to write it. But thankful to my friend who also called and was like, you know what, you people leave me alone. I don't have energy to write right now. But in February, I actually released my devotional, the devotional I've been dreaming of. So
great.
I've got a devotional, it's called Arise with the Lord, or Start Your Day Right. And that was born out of my show. And Arise with the Lord is a series of devotionals that I'm going to be rolling out. So it's like 30 days of prayers, 30 days of kindness, 30 days of so many things more. But the book, I said, usually on my birthday, I like to release something, maybe a song or a video. I was like, okay, this year, the birthday, I'll just do the book.
The book, so great. Wow. Now it's very interesting. Now for all our guests tonight, you also need to look at yourself and see what is that dream that you have carried for 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. It can still come to pass if you don't give up. It can still come to pass. God can still bring people all around you. God can still bring people, like you said for yourself, that will cheer you up, that will say, hey, you can do it. Help build your confidence and tell you that you can do it. Go for it and provide all the resources. But however, for all our audience, maybe you have not acquired what they call in the oil and gas industry. You've not acquired, or maybe in those who are pilots, you've not acquired enough flight hours, man hours in your experience. You've not acquired a lot of experience that would help make that book valuable. So you're not talking of theory, but you'll be talking practical steps of tips of how people can be able to get out of whatever situation. And I like the way you mentioned it, that there is a book in everyone. There is a book, there's an experience, there's something you are unique. There's a reason why our finger marks, tips are not the same. They are just they're different. So, and each person has his own journey, and that's the reason why your story could just help someone out there.
True.
And I think it's important, even if it helps one person, you would have arrived. You would have not. Let me not use the word arrive, but at least you understand what I mean by that. Yeah. You would have achieved and fulfilled the purpose of inspiring someone to become, a better version of themselves, a greater version of themselves. And okay, interesting. All right. Now, I didn't plan for this, but we're going to put you on the spot. We're going to give you a consultant work. You're going to do a consultant work for us now.
Okay.
All right. Now, imagine that you meet me and I say, oh, I want to build my followership. What do I do?
Okay.
That's the consultancy.
First things first, why do you want to build your followership? What is the reason behind it?
Yeah, well, to inspire people. It's the mentor's show. It's to mentor people, to help make them become better version of themselves, to make them make impact in their community.
Okay, so that's the first question. You have your why. We know your why. So which people specifically do you want to inspire? Is it just the whole world? Is it young people? Is it women? Is it men? Is it boys? Who do you want to inspire to be a better version of themselves?
Well, interestingly enough, just like everybody, the whole world, because I don't know if you see one of my posts on my page. I said the world is my parish.
Okay, that's good.
The world is my parish.
That's fine. But you know what?
Yeah, I know demography is important because.
Yes, so it is important because when you know who exactly you are targeting, the thing is, it's not that you can't work with other people, but when you know who exactly you are targeting, then you can attract them with the kind of content that they want. For instance, I personally, before I got to this phase where I am, I was like you. I want to reach the whole world. I want to impact the whole world, But you know what? I wasn't attracting people. I was attracting everybody, but not
a tribe.
Not my tribe.
Yeah.
But as soon as I figured my who, like Cindy has just said, who do you want to impact? Who do you want to make a difference in their lives? It's not that I don't work with other people. I do work with other people. But you've got to have a niche.
Yeah.
Because when you have a niche, you then know exactly what their issue is, what is their pain.
And provide solution to it.
Do you understand? And what is their pleasure? Because sometimes we have pleasure points, we have pain points. So if you know exactly that, okay, women of a certain age, Christian women struggle with identity, they struggle with the lack of confidence. And I'm like, okay, so I know that. Then I'll be able to provide them with content that resonates with them. And then they begin to follow me. Yesterday, I was training a few ladies, and then I asked one of them where she was from. And she said she was from Birmingham. She can't remember how she found me, if it was on Instagram or Facebook, but she found me. But what really drew her to my profile was because I had put on my Instagram that I help women of faith build their confidence. So you see?
Interesting.
I'm now attracting
the right people. Yep.
But before I was just a singer, I was just a radio broadcaster. So nobody knew exactly who my message was for. But I still work with other people. I still have clients that I consult for. So
interesting.
once you know your why, once you know the people that you want to work with, and then you understand what their pain problems are, or their pleasure points are, then you begin to craft content that will resonate with them, that will say, aha, Dr. Olushola Ajide is speaking to me right now, and I want what he has. Then you begin to increase that, so that your content is just not all. Sometimes all of us, as creatives, as pastors, as teachers, we want to put out content that we like. But rather think of the people
the needs of the people.
What do they want? What do they need?
Thank you so much for that. Somebody is asking a question. The person says, a minister of Pidgin English, is it okay to quit what you are doing if you think it's not attracting the right people?
No, never. If it's your why, if it's your purpose, if it's your dream, you're not going to quit it because it's not attracting the right people. You just need to get your messaging right. You just need to get clear on who are the people I really want to attract. So don't quit because it's not attracting the right people. Or else everybody will quit what they're doing.
And we're saying don't quit.
You can't. So once you do that, once you've understood your why, your who, your niche, their pain, then you begin to provide them with value. You begin to speak in their language. Then they'll begin to like, oh wow, okay, this person knows exactly what my problem is. Yeah? And then you can now begin to give them stuff. So for instance, 5 ways that you can do something, five ways you can grow your audience, for instance, or 5 ways you can grow your Instagram, or 5 ways to help you overcome fear, all those kind of things. You put it out there and get people to subscribe to your email list. It's very important that you grow your own list and not rely on social media, because when you grow your own list, then you begin to nurture them. And then there's something we call social proof. When you've been able to impact your audience, they begin to shout about you, they begin to talk about you, and then it draws other people in.
Excellent. So
but
that's,
if you need more,
so that's
join my class.
That's I need the audience to also agree with me. That's a well done job. So there's a check of £10 million. Interesting. All right. So now, for your online radio show, so how do you, because it's often said that while you are fulfilling purpose and you are trying to offer value, even though you didn't come, how do you monetize your value, your giftings? Like quite a lot of people, our audience will be thinking of how to monetize their value, the value you are bringing to the table. So how do you do that? So for your radio station, for example, well, you are offering service, value. How do you monetize?
Yes. So with the radio station, I mean, there are different ways to monetize that. And because the radio station really is a charitable organization, there's not so much profit we can make out of it.
Yeah.
So we just need an income to sustain it, to pay our bills, to pay the subscription. You don't want to know. There's so much to pay.
I know.
You understand? So as a result of that, what we have as a radio station is slots.
Okay.
So airtime.
Airtime, yep.
So we can offer that at a reduced cost. Yeah, because we're not trying to make profit from it. We're just wanting to sustain the radio so that we can keep being a blessing to others. So we offer airtime, we offer advertising, we offer interviews, and all of these help us to monetize the
station.
Yeah. But it's not for profit. It's just so that we can still keep our head up and pay them bills.
Pay the bills,
the
internet bills, licenses,
for the radio, the
licenses, the music, how many music you paid in the month, royalty.
All of those things are not shit. But that's why I thought that, okay, so since we cannot make profits with the radio station, because we also have partners, we also have donors who support us regularly with as little as £5, £10, who support us regularly, and it's such a blessing.
Interesting.
Such a blessing. Some people give one off, but there are some people, and you find out that even that £5, when it comes, it meets a need.
A particular need.
It meets a particular need. Yeah. So we do that. Then, but to be able to even invest more in to get new equipment and all of that. That's why I decided, okay, you've got this talent, you've got this gift, you're an expert. So like one of my coaches would say, an expert is not someone that knows everything in the world. You just need to know more than the people in the group, So with my social media, I know more than quite a lot of people.
So you can make money from there and help.
So I offer that as a service. And then obviously support the radio station.
Interesting. Now, it's very interesting as you were saying this, and I just remembered My first consultancy job in Nigeria, when I was in Nigeria, was for radio station, Radio Rivers, and
Wow.
it was actually pro bono. I just
Okay.
I just approached the DG. I just said, who was a member of our church. I said, well, ma, blah blah blah. She said, these marketing people, they're not making any money. I said, well, let me come and do a training for your marketing department.
Yeah.
So I went, I organized, and it's pro bono. I organized, got a friend who was a marketing, who was a banker, who was in charge of sales, to come and deliver, and both of us delivered the something. It's quite
Wow.
interesting. It's
So I
remembering that.
probably will need your skills and expertise too.
Interesting. And the second one also I did was for Trend TV in Nigeria. It's a terrestrial TV,
Okay.
Mr. Trend TV, um, CTL in Port Harcourt. It's a. I
Right.
also
I
did
see Port Harcourt as well.
CTL. If you know CTL, that has this. I did a training for his marketing people also, because it was having issues of sales and all those stuff. So it's quite
Yeah.
interesting about, and that's why that, ladies and gentlemen, whatever dream you have, don't allow it to die. Work
No.
towards it.
Yep.
Now, for me, all these things I went, this journey of this talk show I'm doing now is right from then. I knew that one day something will come up. So I now said I must be in the space of the radio station. I must do something for those radio stations. So it made me
Wow.
to do
Wow.
that consultancy for them. It made me to come to
Mentoring.
RGU. It made me
Yeah.
to I'm going to even release a letter to on my LinkedIn profile, a letter from the dean in business school. I was in the radio manager for RGU radio.
Wow.
So it made me, when I came and I said, oh, this is a radio equipment sitting down here doing nothing. Let's put it to use. So it's interesting. So, ladies and gentlemen, whatever your dreams are or is, if it's just one or more than one, list them down, like we said from the initial. Now, as you list them down, look out for people that could mentor you so you can go through the process. Now, while you are going through the process, you are acquiring the necessary skills that will help you to be able to be a better version of yourself or a person you dream to become. So it's very important that we do all this, and before you know it, not too long, you see yourself in that seemingly
Yeah.
dream, and you'll be asking, is it myself? Like they say, where we come from, you will be pinching yourself and say,
Is it me?
you'll be pinching yourself to say, is this me? So it's just wonderful. Now, finally, Instagram is about to time us out. Can you
Yeah.
imagine? It's just already 1 hour.
I know,
Wow,
right?
wow. Now, for me as a researcher, my research is on corporate social responsibility. What kind of social responsibility are you involved in? What kind of CSR projects do you do?
Okay, so presently we've just so the ministry, Heart Song Ministries, we started an initiative early this year to be able to support. It initially started as a support for just women.
Okay.
Yes, but then as we got into COVID and all of that, it now became like, okay, I mean, quite a few people have been affected by the situation
Yeah.
and all of that. So we then decided to now come together with a few other ladies to say, hey, let's set up, a project. We call it the Adelphi Relief Project.
Okay.
Let's set up a project that will help women, families, young people in the Black and ethnic minority community who have suffered loss of any kind as a result of COVID, and also so support them with food, with groceries, as well as a listening service. So that is what we're doing presently. Yeah.
Okay, and a listening service. Interesting. So it means you are you aware of the project which I run? Where for at least some of the projects we've been running, we run a befriending service.
You do?
Yeah,
Wow. So I need to speak to you then.
just Google Aberdeen Linking Lives.
Oh wow.
Aberdeen Linking Lives. We run befriending service, and
that's amazing
face.
because we have kicked off the first phase. So the second phase is the listening side. We're just about starting.
Okay.
So I will come to you for some
Yeah.
advice and support.
Yeah. So during this COVID, we moved because we cannot see people face to face. It's now a telephone befriending service.
Yes,
which is what we're doing now currently now. So it's so thank you so much. So wow, 1 hour has just flown away like that, and wow, and we've not. But well, let's just keep it. Maybe you have to come back again, perhaps.
No problem.
Thank you so much
I've had fun. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for coming. Somebody said, Minister, I really enjoyed this session. Thank you, Dr. Ajide and Auntie Elo. Thank you.
Darling.
Thank you, Minister of Pidgin English.
And to my friend and sister, Sheyi. Thank you, Sheyi. And great to see you.
Thank you, everybody. So thank you so much for coming.
Thank you, sir.
We really appreciate your time. So let's leave you. We know you are good. You have other things you want to go and do. Because you're always very, very active and busy. So thank you. Please greet the family. Thank them for allowing you this time.
Yeah.
You know you should be with family. Thank you so much.
Thank
God
you
bless.
so much.
All right. Bye. Bye. So that is it. Ladies and gentlemen, wow, it's just been a wonderful time. It's been a wonderful show today, fully packed. You can still watch this show on my Instagram page and other shows of our previous with our previous guests, with Frank Edwards, with Emoji Music, with Mike Abdul, with Dr. Wilson Joe, with Rotimi Sachs. All these wonderful people. You can watch them on my page, and we hope to see you again next week. We are going to we are going to have our guest. A wonderful guest who is an author on creativity. He has a book on creativity. So see you next week, Tuesday, by God's grace. Bye. Thank you all. I thought I